All right, muscle heads, I am Trey Wires, and today I'm going to show you how to wire up a 4 and 5 pin relay. You're going to watch me hit this switch, boom, bap, bap, boom. So I'm going to show you exactly how relays work, how to wire a relay, what's the difference between a 4 and 5 pin relay, and how to fuse a relay. Let's get right into it. Let's go. Now, the two most common type of relays are the Bosch style 30 or 40 amp relay. 4 pin, see right here? We call it a 4 pin relay. You guessed it, genius, because it has 4 pins. This is a 5 pin relay. Why? Because it has 5 pins. Now, this relay is the exact same. The only difference is one has a pin in the middle, which is pin 87A. We're going to get to that later. Right now, we're just explaining what relays are and how they work. You're usually going to find out that nothing in your car is going to be over 40 amps. Okay, see this relay right here? It says 12 volt, 40 amp relay. You see this relay right here? It doesn't say what amperage this relay is. Now that means before you leave the auto store, you need to check, because sometimes they don't have how many amps they are. Don't ask me why. Some do, some don't, and the box doesn't even have them some of the times. Let me show you. I bought this one in the box right here. It doesn't have it. Nowhere on this box does it say 30 or 40 amps, and this relay came out of this box. But I know it's a 40 amp because I went on the website and the website told me it was 40 amps. So check it before you leave out of the auto store. Okay, now I know what y'all thinking, but Trey, how do I know what size amp of a relay to get? Calm down, relax, okay? This is how you gonna know. So whatever electrical component that you're hooking up to these relays, it could be a fan, some lights, an electric fuel injector, whatever it is has something called an amperage draw. So when you go on the website or you go in the auto store, you look on the box, look and see what type of amperage draw it has. It's going to say like a 14 amperage draw, a 20 amperage draw. 99 out of 100 things in your car won't use over 40 amps. So everything more than likely, when I say more than likely, I mean more than likely is going to be less. Really, it's going to be less than 30 amps. So a 40 amp is going to do you justice, right? But check to see the amperage. On a rare occasion, you may need a relay that's bigger. Let's say if you had a monster truck and you had these big light bars on the top of that monster truck, and the amperage draw for those lights was 65. You would go get you something like an 80 amp relay. You see where that says 80? 80 amp relay. This is a bigger relay. The pins on it are bigger. Oops. So now that we're back, you see the pin on that? Pin on that is huge compared to this pin, because it has a bigger amperage draw. And you want to stay about, let's say if you had electric dual fan, you want to stay about 5 amps over. So if your electric fan takes 25, it has a 25 amp draw, you want to get a relay that's a 30 amp or a 40 amp. You want to stay at least, okay, at least 5 amps above whatever draw your electrical component is. And that's how you choose what size relay to get. Now, some relays come with these adapters. I like them because they make wiring very, very easy. These adapters plug it plugs right up into your relay. You can do it just like that, and then you could attach everything right here. But we go get in there later. I don't want to get into wiring relays right now because I don't want to get y'all confused, because I know y'all just some rookies out here. Some relays you can attach directly to the frame or the chassis of the car. Some relays, you see, it doesn't have this little connection piece right here at all. So it plugs right into to a fuse box. You have a fuse box or a relay box, and it'll plug right inside of there. But this one right here attaches to the frame. But if you want, sometimes it has a little adapter right here that you can knock this off and use this one as a plug-in. This one doesn't have that adapter. So make sure when you buy the relay, you get the right one. You see which one your car needs, so that way, because you can't buy this one and attach it directly to the frame or the chassis of the car. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. If you don't have one of these adapters, wire harnesses to go to the relay, all you have to do is buy some spade connectors, hook the spade connectors up to the wire, spade connectors plug right into here, and then you'll be good to go. But remember to use insulation around your spade connectors, because you don't want a ground and a power wire to touch and short out. Okay, that's what you don't want. So buy the spade connectors and make sure you buy the insulation for the spade connectors. This is how you wire up a 4-pin relay. Okay, this is a 4-pin relay right here, basically turned over on its upside, okay? Now, these are all the numbers. Inside of this relay right here, you have an 87, an 86, a pin 30, a pin 85, And if it was a 5-pin relay, you would have a what? Pin 87A. And when I flip it over, you can see the numbers. They literally have it labeled for you. You see all the numbers, and you see pin 87A missing, but you see pin 87 at the top right here. And then you see your pin 86, pin 85, and then you can see your pin 30. And they basically have it numbered for you. All right. Now let's break down what each pin means. Pin 30 is your main power source. Okay, this is what goes to your 12-volt battery. This is going to be wired to anywhere where you got a 12-volt battery source at, and then don't forget to fuse it. It goes to pin 30. Then you want to come over here to pin 85. Pin 85 is your ground. Okay, this is going to be grounded to your frame or a chassis or directly grounded to the battery. But nobody really grounds a relay directly to the battery, so it's going to be either to the frame or the chassis. Okay. Next, you're going to have your power, and this is going to your power switch. This is the switch that's going to cut the relay on and activate the relay. You're going to have to fuse it too, and it's pin 86. Then at the top right here, you have pin 87, and this is what's going to go to your accessory. This is the power to your accessory. So basically, you got power running to pin 30. When you hit the switch is going to run power. It's going to close the circuit or whatever switch you're running, and it's going to run power to pin 86. Once that power is run to pin 86, it's going to activate the relay, and the relay has a lever in the inside, and it's going to switch over here and connect the power from 30 to pin 87, and it's going to give the accessory that you plugged in power. And that's how a 4-pin relay works. Now let's look at another example on how to break it down exactly how it works to help you understand. So basically right here, we have this truck, and it's trying to deliver electricity. It's on pin 30 street, okay? And it's trying to deliver electricity to pin 87. When your switch is on the off position, it's always gonna run down here. It's always gonna run down here. But if you hit this switch and cut this switch on through pin 86, if you cut this switch on through pin 86, it's gonna take this lever right here, and it's gonna prop it up. And this right here is, this is the switch on, okay? And you run it through pin 86. And pin 86 basically cuts the relay on, the relay activates, and it's gonna push your little lever all the way up, and it's gonna allow the electricity right here, this E in this truck, is gonna allow electricity to cross the street to pin 87. Because right now it's on pin 30 street, and we're trying to get the electricity over here to pin 87. And boom, that's basically how a 4-pin relay works. And you can see right here, they give you a little outline. Now, all relays don't have this, but this one has a little outline. And you see the lever is on pin 30. And then when you cut it on, when you activate the relay with the switch, it cuts on to pin 87. And it basically moves this lever up to pin 87, and it cuts your relay on. This is how you wire up a 5-pin relay. So now we have a 5-pin relay. And a 5-pin relay looks exactly like the 4-pin relay, except, boom, we have a pin 87A. And instead of the relay running to an off position, it's going to run to your first accessory. So immediately when the relay is activated, it's going to automatically have this accessory on. You don't have to hit a switch. If you hit the switch, it's going to move the lever off pin 87A, move it on to pin 87, and cut the accessory 2 on. Whichever the second accessory you have hooked up. So it's wired the exact same. Power to 30, power switch right here to 86. Ground to pin 85, all the exact same. Okay, this is the same diagram. You got your truck with the electricity, but instead of going down to the off position, it's going to go to pin 87A, which is your first accessory. So automatically, as soon as you cut the car on, as soon as you cut whatever you cut on, and it gets power, it's going to go to pin 87A and cut that first accessory on. Once you hit the switch, it's going to activate pin 86. And when pin 86 is activated, it's going to take the lever, push it all the way up. This is going to cut pin 87A off and activate pin 87, and allow the electricity from pin 30 street to make it over to pin 87. You hit the switch again, the lever is going to come back down. It's going to cut pin 87 off. It's going to activate pin 87A. So this is like a relay. That's why we call it the this or that relay, right? Okay, nobody calls it the this or that relay but me. All right, y'all. But anyway, now, the first reason why we use relays is for protection. It protects small wires and switches. So let's say you had an electric fan running in your car, right? Electric fan, and it ran and it required 20 amps of electricity. So this electric fan requires 20 amps of electricity. And then you got your switch that cuts the electric fan on right here, your little switch. Then you take a wire right here and you're gonna run a 14 gauge wire to this switch. This switch is a 10 amp switch. It only can hold 10 amps of electricity, and your electric fan is a 20 amp draw. Now this 14 gauge, this 18 gauge wire right here probably can only hold about 5 amps of electricity. So before it could even make it over here to the switch, it's gonna burn this wire up. But let's say we take this wire off and we use a bigger wire that can handle 20 amps of electricity. Well, now you go burn your switch up because this switch can only handle 10 amps of electricity. So boom, in comes your 30 amp relay. Mr. Get Back. This is your 30 amp relay bodyguard. This 30 amp relay is going to allow you to run this thin wire over here to this 20 amp draw electric fan, and it won't burn up the switch or it won't burn up the wires if you run it through the relay. So we use it for protection. Now, next up is we're able to use thin gauge wires. Let's say you had an electric fan or some headlights in your car and you wanted to ride them without a relay. You would have to use this thick wire right here. And this is not going to look good having 20 of these running through your dashboard, okay? So it's much easier to run it through a relay, and we could use a thinner wire. Now, the third reason we use relays, and this is probably the most overlooked reason, it prevents voltage drop, right? So when you're running these thin wires, the voltage doesn't maintain itself. So let's say you come in, your battery's fully charged at 12.6 volts, and you got a wire that's 14 gauge and it's running up to 6 feet all the way to your accessory. Yeah, let's say your accessory is some headlights. By the time it gets all the way over here to the accessory after running, it left at 12.6, but by the time it makes it over here, it's 11.9 volts. Now this accessory needs over 12 volts to run properly. So then it's gonna cause your lights to dim and you probably go blow bulbs, and your accessory won't be at its full potential, and it'll cause your accessory to fail sooner than later, right? Or sooner than it normally would, because you're not actually getting the proper amount of voltage going strictly to the accessory. But you slap a relay on there, if this leaves the battery at 12.6, when it gets to the accessory, it's going to be over 12 volts, and it's going to be enough to make sure this accessory is powered with everything that it needs. And last but not least, it allows you to power 2 accessories with 1 switch. But only the 5-pin does this. Only the 5-pin relay does this. Remember 87, 87A, accessory 1, accessory 2. I'm not going to go into details because I already did that, and I'm about to show you guys exactly how to wire a 5-pin with our little science project that we put together. Let's go. Right here we have our 5-pin relay already wired up. We have our ground on this side. We have our switch right here. We have our power right here. This is going to the battery. This ground right here is going to the battery. If I plug it up, pin 87A will light up. So just to show you guys, the ground is running right here through pin 85. The black wire is pin 85. The blue wire is pin 87 right here. This is pin 87. Now I didn't have a blue alligator clip, but y'all go pretend like this green one is blue. So we go scroll all the way up right here. It is connected to light 1, and then pin 87A is the yellow wire, which is right here. It goes all the way down and it goes up to light number 2. Okay, now once I plug this ground up, pin 87A will light up. Now this is a 5-pin relay we got wired right here, but we can make a 5-pin or 4-pin if we disconnect the yellow wire. But I'm gonna hit the switch. Boom. When I hit the switch, the magic occurs and it closes the circuit. See, this is power right here, and it comes down here. Power runs from right here to your switch, and your switch is open. But once you hit the switch, it closes the circuit and shoots the power all the way up here to the white wire, which the white wire is pin 86. It shoots it to the white wire and it activates the relay, which closes pin 87A, and it flips to pin 87. And that's what cuts the light on. These 2 lights are grounded. I grounded them right here to this fuse box. The red wire is pin 30, and I connected them right here to the fuse box. And I spliced it. I just used a little splitter and I spliced it right here to my switch. So now right now I'm getting power to my switch, and I'm getting the power, 12 volt power to pin 30 right here. I could have used the inline fuse. It would have been a little bit easier, but I had already had the fuse box on here from another video showing you guys how to fuse and how to work fuse boxes. Shameless plug, that's in the description. So if you wanna watch a video on how to hook up fuses and how fuses work, click that link. But yeah, let's get back to the goodness of what we got here. So this is our relay, and this is a 5-pin relay, and I can easily turn this into a 4-pin relay. If I disconnect this yellow wire, it's going to kill the power to pin 87A right here. So boom, I disconnect that. So now I'll switch. If I hit the switch, pin 87A is now, because there's nothing on pin 87A, is going to be technically off, but it's still hot. The pin is still hot, right? So if you convert a 5-pin relay into a 4-pin relay, remember that this pin inside is still hot. So you're going to have to put some over it. You know, whether you put some heat shrink over it, a little clamp with some heat shrink over it, or you just pull the pin up out of the harness if you're using a harness. You may not be using a harness. But right now, if I hit this switch right here, this light's going to come on. So we basically turn pin 87A into off. Boom, it's on, off, right? And if I plug it back up, pin 87A is gonna light up, because remember how I showed y'all on the drawing. The road to pin 87A is connected first. The moving electricity goes down first, and that is how you wire a 4 to 5-pin relay. If y'all have any questions, just ask me in the comments. I'm gonna try my best to answer all the questions in the comments. Once again, I'm Trey Wires. I'll see y'all next video. Peace. Oh, side note, I got a video right here showing you guys how to wire up fuses, when to use fuses, and how they work. Check it out.